somebody's in big trouble because we just got a whole lot of insane leaks, reveals, news, and updates about Avengers Doomsday, Spider-Man Brand New Day, and the future of the wider MCU at large. And I'm letting you know right now, some of this news is really gonna shock you. I'm talking new cast members for Doomsday, teases of some potential cameos, sequels, crossovers, green beans, potatoes, tomatoes, you name it. And you know me, with all of these crumbs, I'm gonna make a 10-star meal. Cause either way, me and you know what we gotta do. We gotta talk about it. But man, you know what? Doom! You looking for this? Let's start off with all the new updates about filming for Spider-Man Brand New Day because, you know, I've been cornering the market on Spider-Man Brand New Day videos.
I have nothing left except Spider-Man.
So no need to regurgitate what I've already mentioned. But if you do want to check those out, check out some older videos. But thanks to all my lovely Scottish folks out there, they got a nice picture of fucking Spider-Man. Brand New Day's production schedule thanks to a photo of a costume designer's trailer where it looks like they're going to be filming scenes for Spider-Man and Scorpion sometime this month in August. And this all comes from these photos and sticky notes, but it looks like there's going to be a fight sequence with the DODC guards, which, as you know, if you've been keeping up with my theories, I've been saying I think the DODC are going to play a huge factor for, I think, adamantium, gamma-powered weapons, old Stark tech, and basically everything that happens when damage control comes in to clean up all these battles. I think that's why there's gonna be so many villains that are gonna be powered up. It's gonna be like Homecoming on steroids. But another interesting thing is they're gonna be filming scenes for a prison fight scene in October. I feel like that's gotta be the DODC Supermax prison that we saw in She-Hulk and Miss Marvel. And it's probably gonna be showing us how Matt Gargan gets out of prison. Either that or you already know, Red. You wanna see a real prison fight? I liked it. Hell, I loved it. But sadly, if you were looking for more new set photos,
bring me more photos.
Unfortunately, it looks like they're gonna be filming indoors thanks to someone that's actually on the scene. They're still continuing to film that same stunt on the street that looks like a chase sequence, but it's sounding like all of the remaining filming in Glasgow will be done indoors. But not before someone on set noticed a rhino-shaped head prop. Now, I don't know if this means that Rhino himself will show up in the movie, but could you imagine a fight scene between Hulk and Rhino? That's an unstoppable force meets an immovable object for real. And I also love how this movie is just ignoring everything that happened in Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man and the Kraven the Hunter movie. We don't do that here. Because don't forget, thanks to Daniel RPK, he, along with a bunch of other industry insiders, have confirmed that, unfortunately, Mr. Negative will not be a part of this movie. But there is a couple of other villains, as well as the main villain that nobody else has mentioned. I have my theories on who I think that is. Check out my previous Spider-Man Brand New Day video breaking this all down. But I do think Martin Lee is still in this movie, just setting the table for him to become Mr. Negative in the future. Either way, I love Spider-Man, and I also love my Scottish folks. I'm sorry for butchering your accent. But mind you, all this Spider-Man Brand New Day filming is happening concurrently with Avengers Doomsday filming. So they're hitting me with combos of news. I'm over here trying to fucking bob and weave like, damn. Oh, and you just know some way, somehow, post-credit scene, mid-credit scene is going to tie to Doomsday directly for Spider-Man Brand New Day because that comes out before Doomsday now. Previously, it came out in between Doomsday and Secret Wars, but now it comes out before. Maybe now we won't just get a back shot of Robert Downey Jr.'s Doom and we'll actually hear him or see him. But regardless, on to all this Doomsday news because I'm telling you right now, it's looking like a CVS receipt. First things first, rest in peace, Uncle Phil, always, but Pedro Pascal has already finished filming all of his scenes for Avengers Doomsday. Huh? What'd you say? Yeah, that's right. I did not stutter. He's done already. And we got this news courtesy of Deadline, who was reporting that Pedro Pascal is circling to be in Tony Gilroy, shout out to all my Andor fans out there, by the way, Tony Gilroy's next movie, Behemoth, where in this article, they let it be known that Pedro Pascal is done filming Doomsday already. And I know a lot of you are probably thinking like, damn, that was fast. I really hope they don't fumble that dynamic and rivalry between Doom and Reed. Hey, let me tell you something. Mind you, this man Pedro Pascal has been filming since late April, early May. Math checks out correct. That's been 3 months. That's more than enough time to film all his scenes. And I bet you right now he's not done filming all his scenes. I bet you he's done filming his scenes for now. You already know there's going to be a shit ton of reshoots too. Because don't forget, it was reported that Pedro Pascal's Reed Richards was going to have a very key and integral, although not a leading role in Avengers Doomsday. So it's not lost on him that Reed Richards is important. And if you were to ask Pedro Pascal himself how filming went, he would say it was delicious and loads of fun facing Robert Downey Jr.'s Dr. Doom, calling him Daddy Doomsday to all of us. I bet you that capital D Daddy interview guy's looking at this quote like, really? So when Pedro says it, it's okay, but when I say it, it's a problem. But regardless, something that I've been cautiously optimistic about and honestly concerned at times, and I know a lot of you out there probably feel the same, is are they gonna fumble that rivalry between Reed and Doom, which has been integral to, well, mainly integral to Hickman's Secret Wars? Because at the end of the day, that's one of the biggest factors for what makes Jonathan Hickman's Secret Wars so damn fucking special, is the fact that you can have all these world-ending events, incursions, multiversal variants, fucking crazy primordial beings, the Beyonders, fucking all this shit happening because you ground it in a very personal relationship and dynamic and rivalry. And I got one mid-credit scene back shot that explains that away perfectly. Because if you kidnap my son, we throwing hands, and there's probably a pre-existing fucking relationship there. Or maybe not. More on that in a second. And speaking of the Because while unfortunately Fantastic Four isn't doing as great as Disney and Marvel Studios was hoping, it is still doing all right. It might break even, might be a little profitable, but thankfully that's not going to stop them from making sequels to the Fantastic Four in the future. As Disney CEO Bob Iger said that they are key and essential fixtures for the future of the MCU. And thank the Lord, because this is by far and away the perfect iteration of the Fantastic Four ever brought to live action. If you don't agree, you probably just don't read comics. And that's okay. But I feel like people don't take that into account when they realize why this box office isn't so special. Like, damn, the Fantastic Four isn't doing good. The last 4 movies have been But man, I don't give a fuck. Siri, play 90210.
Don't worry, I'ma get it ready.
But picking up with a flashback to the Doomsday news and the script issues. So a couple months back, there was a report saying that Avengers Doomsday doesn't even have a finished script and like they're still trying to finalize a third act. And that was recently confirmed by Rebecca Romijn, who's going to be playing Mystique in the film, saying that they haven't finished the script yet. And that's why she's not even sure if she's finished filming her scenes yet, which could play into the fact, like, is Pedro actually done filming his scenes or not? But regardless, they got everyone's favorite writer, Michael Waldron, back to work on his script too. And I know, boo this man! But Hakuna Matata, don't forget he wrote Loki, even though Multiverse of Madness was a miss. I feel like that was just studio interference in general. Plus, he's probably on Avengers Doomsday to help write, TVA, Loki stuff, since we know Loki and the TVA are most likely going to be in it. So I'm praying that he does not write some dog shit. And I mean, if you were to ask Anthony Mackie, it looks like he already knows what the third act is going to be. It's going to be a cliffhanger regardless. He said no one is safe, everyone is expendable. And you know what? I believe him. And it should end on a fucking cliffhanger, just like Infinity War, because we're going to go into Secret Wars. Because mind you, how you going to have a movie called Doomsday and expect Doom to lose? He's most likely going to be the main character, much like Thanos was the main character of Infinity War. And speaking of Thanos, because he's inevitable, Josh Brolin also said some very interesting things about possibly returning as Thanos in Doomsday and Secret Wars, where he said that he speaks to the Russo brothers like 4 to 6 times a week. And if they were to ask him to go film in London right now to return as Thanos, he would say, without question, I'll be there tomorrow. But funny enough, also in this interview, Josh Brolin confirmed that they work without finished scripts all the damn time. They did that with Infinity War and Endgame. So it's not like it's nothing new, because it also helps prevent leaks. Does it though? Does it really? Because look where we are. But of course, like anyone who's ever picked up a comic book ever, everyone or most of you should know what I'm about to mention next and why Thanos returning in Secret Wars, mainly Secret Wars, not Doomsday, could make a whole lot of sense. Just so they could recreate this panel of Thanos getting packed up by God Emperor Doom. And this was a key moment in Secret Wars because, I mean, outside of some exposition and him, coming to power as God Emperor Doom, we didn't really saw how powerful he was. So this was the moment they're like, Thanos came, tried to big dog him, and he said, all right, give me a fucking skeleton. What are we talking about? It's such a hard panel that you already have artists like working on it for the MCU, and someone animated this entire scene themselves. I actually reacted to this in the past. I should probably edit that video. And yeah, it would be cool to see that. It would be cool to see that. But my brother in Christ, how many times are we gonna kill Thanos? This man has died more times than Kenny from South Park. They packed him up in Endgame twice, 2 times. He got split in half in What If. Motherfucker got stabbed by his own knife in Multiverse of Madness. What? Why? He's become the stepping stone to show just how powerful these other characters are. Now, me personally, how I would establish Doom to be an all-powerful being would be in Doomsday. Have him pack up the Council of Kangs. I don't care if they look like Jonathan Majors or not. Could you imagine him pulling up to the council and just packing them up left, right, up, down, taking his power and destroying the TVA or using it to his advantage? Because like I've been theorizing for months, I think it's going to be a race to Loki's throne. And having Kang's technology at his disposal is actually fucking genius on a couple of different fronts. Because obviously it would explain like how he's able to jump from place to place. But mind you, the TVA was built by He Who Remains, who is Nathaniel Richards, who is related to Reed Richards. It would be the most petty thing to do too. But the hardest choices require the strongest wills. I'd be down for it. But moving on, according to Daniel RPK, Marvel Studios is eyeing Ana de Armas for a key and integral role in the future of the MCU. And my immediate thought always goes to Mystique for the new X-Men. I think that would be fire. It would be peak, especially after Ballerina. But then I remembered this other report that Daniel RPK had back in December, where he said specifically they were looking at her for Doomsday. And there's been gossip, rumors, panic in the streets that this potential character could be appearing in Doomsday and Secret Wars. And that's the Black Swan. And I could see it. That's a keen integral role for Secret Wars because the Black Swans are the herald of Doom in the multiverse. I could see it. I'm just not entirely sure if she would fit the bill. I feel like they would want her for something else. Just let her be the new Mystique for real. But lastly, Joseph Quinn had some very interesting comments that potentially reveal some new cameos in Doomsday. He basically glazed working with Chris Hemsworth, but also let it slip that it's very encouraging and reassuring to kind of know these characters. I've seen Thor in films. I've seen lots of people who maybe I can't mention in films, and be alongside them is very exciting. Oh, spoiler, scary. That motherfucker caught himself before he pulled Tom Holland. And like Chris Evans is coming back, bro. I think there's going to be an evil version of the Avengers in Doomsday that Doom's going to have as like a part of his multiversal cabal. Maybe we'll have the Thor core. We're definitely getting Hydra Cap for sure, I think. Maybe we get Black Widow as the Red Widow, Maestro Hulk, an evil version of Hawkeye. Fuck it. Either way, I'm beyond excited for Avengers Doomsday, and honestly, Marvel needs to be excited too because they need this shit to be a hit. The 3 movies they released this year have barely passed $1 billion combined, but I think they'll be fine with Spider-Man, Avengers, so stop saying Marvel's back. But either way, that's all the new news, my thoughts, theories, and opinions. Let me know what you think about them down in the comments below, and as always, like and follow for more.